Hello everyone, and thanks for hanging out with me. When I had the press car from BMW, the i4 M50, I also had the chance to drive it down to under 8% or something and charged it at Ionity to see what the charging curve is, how good it is. It's an 84 kilowatt hour battery, 81 kilowatt hours can be used, and the spec says that it's 207 kilowatt of charging, and so I charged it to see what it is on the real charger. When does the curve go down? And by the way, you can see, I don't know where I will put it, one of those sides. You can see already the whole charging screen that I filmed of Ionity, and of that I put in all the data so we can see it. And then I want to compare it to the BMW iX M50, which also has a very high charging curve, almost at 200 kilowatt. And then of course the charging king, the Ioniq 5, that I charged in June of 21. After 130 kilometers an hour, I can say it, range test. But let's look at the curve. Here we are. So this is the BMW i4 M50. Like I said, up here we have charging power in kilowatt, and here the state of charge in percent. So it starts here very fast at 8%, 200 kilowatt, and goes up to a peak. It says 209, but I've seen 210 very, very slowly, not very long. And then it goes steadily down and down and down. Under 100 kilowatt, it goes around here. Where is it? At 54, 55%. And then we only have a little step down here at 82% to 55 kilowatt, where it stayed till I stopped at 91 kilowatt. I have seen the charging curve then at the end goes down and down and down, but I only charged to 91% on that day. And that's enough for data, I think, at all. I charged from 8 to 91%, 72.716 kilowatt hours. That's of course not everything into the battery. There is a lot of loss, charging loss and heat loss and whatever, cooling of the battery and everything. But let's compare it to other cars. First, the charging power. In blue we have the Ioniq 5, in red we have the iX M50, has the 101 kilowatt hour battery, and yellow is the i4 M50 with the 81 kilowatt hour battery. And as you can see, it has the highest charging power to, what is this? Where are we? Come on, show me. 25%, has the higher charging power. And then Ioniq 5, whoop, goes up to its amazing charging power of 223, at perfect conditions 230 kilowatt. And then the Ioniq does this little on my test. I don't know if this is normal at every every Ioniq 5. Only had the car once, but the charging curve looked really good. And as you can see, also yellow curve i4 M50, because it's a smaller battery. After the high peak in the beginning, the iX M50, still it's a bigger battery, can put more power over the whole charging curve. Even back here over 80%, we still have 69 kilowatt that goes up to 93%. It's a big, huge battery, but that's a good charging curve. And even the Ioniq 5 is way higher. I mean, it doesn't end up at the same level as the i4 M50 to 88%, but the Ioniq 5 is 800 volt. That's of course a big advantage. But you can see that's it's a good charging curve with the i4 M50, but it cannot compete with the other two. And with the iX M50, it's clear because it's a huge battery, 20 kilowatt hours more. But Ioniq 5 is smaller, but 800 volt system, and that rules. Ioniq 5 is still the charging king. And then we're gonna look at range added in time comparison, and this is a bit I wanted to show you that. This is the consumption that I put down for each car, Ioniq 5, iX M50, i4 M50 at 130 kilometers an hour at my range test. When I did the i4 M50 range test, I had 252 watt hours per kilometer consumption, but that was because I had a lot of acceleration and deceleration the whole time because it was a lot of traffic. So I think the consumption is better than this, and I put 240 in here. It could be even less. The iX M50 was done in the winter, in January. And the Ioniq 5 was done in extreme rain, and even though it was in June, it was 12 degrees and extreme rain, and I had 310 or even 312 watt-hours per kilometer. But again, it was horrible conditions. That's why I put those two at 275 watt-hours per kilometer. And then when we go to the charging curve, so time in minutes to range added over, so the range added over time, you can see that the Ioniq 5 starts a bit slow because, as we've seen here, the charging power in the beginning is not that high. It takes up to almost 30% where it ramps up. And then it goes over the iX M50. The i4 M50 is still above because the consumption is lower. But then here at this point, after 24 minutes, the iX M50 goes up because the consumption is not that high, but you still have high charging power compared to the other cars. And of course it charged longer because it was a bigger battery. But still, Ioniq 5 is still awesome, and I cannot wait for the Ioniq 6 when you have the same charging power but good consumption. I'm expecting a very low consumption, not Model 3 level or Ioniq levels back in the day, but maybe Kona levels and something like that. I can see that it's very streamlined. It's gonna be a great car, and in combination, it could be one of the new range kings and charging kings when it comes to long distance. Very possible. We'll have to see. I'm excited about that. But that's it for me. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.